wonder how many flops you can have before you're no longer considered a potential movie star. You're watching Beyond the Trailer's review of What's Your Number?
In America, 96% of women who have been with 20 or more lovers can't find a husband.
20?
That seems very high.
No, it's low.
Is it possible that all my exes got better with time?
You help me track down my exes, I'll help you escape yours.
You got a deal. What about Jerry Perry? He's a puppeteer, so he's single.
You should give me your number. We should catch up. Hey, babe. Hey, you're looking good.
You know what? I think I'm all caught up.
Oh, guys.
Anna Faris's number is 7, as in 7 box office flops since she first broke onto the scene with 2000's Scary Movie. Unfortunately, her win column consisted of just that franchise, as well as a few voiceover roles. And while last year's Yogi Bear was just barely a hit, that's certainly not the kind of movie that's going to help Faris's career. Just ask Jason Lee. But Faris has said she feels Hollywood is working against her, as Tinseltown just isn't into funny women. Recently, Bridesmaids and Bad Teacher have begun to change all that, meaning that Faris was either ahead of the curve or that audiences just don't think she's very funny. After all, Faris had her shot with The House Bunny, a film that nobody in Hollywood would make until she took it to Adam Sandler, who agreed to co-produce with her. However, once the film was made, just as Faris wanted it, the joke fell flat, both with critics and at the box office. Ironically, though, in that movie, Faris did help launch the career of a female comedian doing much better than she is these days, Emma Stone. So now Faris tries again, this time producing another movie for herself, What's Your Number? More a traditional romantic comedy, Faris has also lined up a solid list of male comedians to play off of, including Andy Samberg, Martin Freeman, Thomas Lennon, Joel McHale, and Chris Pratt. As for her love interest, that's being played by Chris Evans, who, while a talented comedian, has little box office juice unless he's wearing the stars and stripes. So, can Faris catch up to the other female comedians who've left her in the dust? Or is she simply not a contender, no matter what the vehicle? Let's go find out. So once again, we're doing a BTT Crew review, this time for What's Your Number?
Oh, wow. That was excruciating.
Not only was the story bad, but the writing and the dialogue itself was pretty bad as well.
So I felt that I would be like the core demographic for this movie. I felt I'm a woman, I like romantic comedies, I really like Anna Faris, this is gonna be great. But this was like one of the worst movies I ever saw.
I pretty much figured out exactly where this movie was headed just by seeing the trailer. So it had to do something really good to keep me engaged for the whole hour and whatever it was. And it really didn't.
This movie really suffers that Bridesmaids exists and came out first. It opens with a gag right out of Bridesmaids, and right out at the beginning of Bridesmaids, pretty much.
It was really reminiscent of Bridesmaids, but much, much, much worse than that movie.
I would think that once they saw that Bridesmaids used that joke, they should have taken it out. And I think the whole movie, not every romantic comedy has to revolve around a wedding. I think that's kind of an insulting cliche.
It seemed it's kind of a weird regression to like this old-fashioned idea that you just have to get married, and it seemed like it was excusing like silly women just being obsessed with men and finding that perfect husband, which I thought that was kind of pathetic, and I didn't like that myself as a girl.
This really doesn't help the stereotype that guys perceive women as just constantly obsessed with finding boys or getting married or being fashionable or just living vacant, shallow lives.
Anna Faris's character was extremely unlikable. I thought all of her friends were unlikable. I think that everyone she dated was unlikable. So there really wasn't anyone you were rooting for. The only person I was actually kind of rooting for was Chris Evans.
I really like Anna Faris, and there were, I guess, a couple moments where her like kind of really goofy humor came out, which was nice, but I don't think it made up for the rest of the movie and all the other stuff that was wrong with it.
Anna Faris had one funny joke about bangs, and if you've ever had bangs, you will laugh.
Most of the characters are very unlikable. The only characters I really found to have any sort of redeeming qualities whatsoever were Chris Evans and Ed Begley Jr., who's Anna Faris's father, but he's only in the movie for about 3 minutes.
Chris Evans, he's very charming, he's very funny, but he just gets naked so much in this movie. I feel like his career should have moved beyond that at this point. I mean, he's Captain America. Getting naked, you don't have to do that anymore, Chris.
He had his shirt off a lot of the time. He was just kind of like a laid-back, casual guy that got around with a lot of women, which was fine, but you know, he's a pretty talented guy, so he probably could be doing much better stuff right now.
This movie was surprisingly raunchy. I was really surprised. And like, I don't mind raunchy comedies when they're funny, but this was using raunch as like a crutch to try and to make it a better movie, and it wasn't.
I guess maybe if you really like, silly romantic comedy wedding movies, you might enjoy this movie, but I wouldn't personally really recommend it to, any typical movie goer.
I feel bad. This is like the second movie we've really hated, but it's just the luck of the draw. I really try and give movies the benefit of the doubt. I'm really loath to leave a movie because I feel, hey, I paid for it. I want to see how it ends. But I can honestly say that if we weren't going to review this for you, that I would have left.
I'd give it like a 3.
To me, what's your number's number is 4.
I'd probably give it a 5, I guess, just because I like seeing her in something.
Sorry, Anna Faris, but we give your movie a 4. What did you think of What's Your Number? Be sure to leave your thoughts down below. And I'm Grace Randolph reporting from AMC Empire 25.